23, isn't it?
Episode 23. Sure. Is this episode 23?
I think it is.
I don't know where
Oh,
we
yeah,
are.
might be.
I don't know where we are. If it is, welcome to episode 23.
Oh, you're just starting?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
just starting. I'm
All
just
right.
going to go straight in.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
I think it's episode 23.
I think it is 23.
I don't think it really matters, does it?
No, but it is. I don't know.
I know. We're sort of guestless this week. We've been
Yeah.
left to our own devices. Everyone's gone on winter break holidays.
Pip's winter break himself
Oh,
off.
well.
He's gone to sort his adenoids out after appearing as Darth Vader in the on Monday's phone-in show.
Yeah.
Steve Kelly's gone to put his hazmat suit on. We've been quarantined back in Birkenhead. Sarah Halpin's away with the Everton women's team at Tottenham Hotspur.
You make it sound like Sarah Halpin's a regular,
I know.
a regular
Just
guest on the
'cause she was last
podcast.
week,
She
but
was very good.
Kevin Campbell's in parts unknown.
Yeah,
So
I
they've
mean,
been the gap.
do you know what sort of worries me? Not worries me. I mean, it doesn't worry me. It doesn't keep me up at night. I mean, if it did, then maybe I'd be up when Kevin Campbell gets up.
Yeah.
Because he put a message out, tweeted at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. And I was like, Kev, if they're up at this time, they're not having a good Wednesday.
Yeah.
What does he do? Why does he get up at 4 o'clock in the morning?
He gets up at 5 and then doesn't he work out at 5 and then.
All right, well,
Then
maybe
gets on with his
the
day.
rest of us are getting it wrong then.
Yeah.
'Cause he turned 50
He
last
did
week.
last week.
Looks amazing. He's always in a dead happy mood.
He is.
He's had a
That's
great
it.
life. Won the league championship. So maybe it's all us that are getting it wrong, and he's actually got it
He
spot
probably
on.
goes to bed at like 10 and gets up at 5.
Fair play
And
to
then
him.
he's
He's not.
living the dream.
To be fair, he's not. What's he really missing?
By being asleep.
Yeah,
Just REM for a start.
Michael Stipe.
Yeah, Stipe just in the corner, losing his religion apparently. That's
What? I mean, what's the?
well, he's probably not missing. You know what? I don't want to offend anyone. And
I don't want to offend anyone, but I don't care.
I don't. But you know, who decided
Yeah.
that deaf and dumb people get up at 12 o'clock in the night? Have you not seen at like 12 on some channels the sign language people come on?
I had no idea.
Honest to God.
No, I appreciate
Like,
that.
and I
understand
just
that.
think, how the hell have you decided that this is the time when you're going to sign programs in the middle of the night? What is who done this? Who done? You know, did he take like a sample size of 4 people? I mean, what time are you awake? And they were, I'm still up at 1. You know,
Put all my
the
favourite
programmes
programs on at 1 o'clock in the morning. Thank you very much.
And I'm just not having it. Honest to God,
Surely with the advent of like the iPlayer and things like that, these things should be on at the same time. You should be. I mean, surely you can press a button now and the dude pops up in the corner.
you can get like subtitles, so that's okay. But then obviously signers. What happens with the sign language bit as well? When is it a bit they don't know when they just turn and look back up at the telly? You know, when you've got them on, there's a bit in it where they always just turn and they're just looking at what's going on. Are they either don't know?
Is that not just instrumental?
I don't know. I don't know whether it's they don't know what to say or they just think this looks boss, this sounds boss. I'm just gonna have a look.
Do you think when they do the sign language, they're standing there and there's a massive screen
There's a big,
to the left of
there's
them.
a big like IMAX behind them.
There's a big screen, but if there is a big screen to the left of them, you know, they can't be deaf themselves.
No, they're not.
No, I know.
Sounds, yeah.
I'm not, I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
yeah.
So they're obviously listening and they're doing the sign next to this giant. Do you think it's like, it almost feels like it's getting recorded like Wonka Vision? Remember, like by the way, that was the stupidest idea anyone ever had. Right, when you think about it, right? When you think about it,
Billy looks.
what was
Billy
Willy Wonka thinking? Yeah, I've got this great. I went, oh, bit brilliant. I've got this great idea. No, because the Cadbury's factory's in Boom. I've got this great idea. Right, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get a normal sized person and I'm going to make them into tiny little pieces, millions of tiny little pieces above their head, and they're going to come down and they're going to be tiny and they're going to be on a little TV. It's like, no, mate, that's not how telly works. Stick to chocolate, you tool. That's not how it works. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a tiny person. What was Willy Wonka thinking?
I don't know. He should have just stuck to chocolate. This is what I say. Don't mix the stuff. Stick to the stuff you know.
I'm not being funny. Like, Willy Wonka was an absolute danger. wasn't he? He was a dangerous man. Like, the things he put. Like, how did he get health and safety for that chocolate factory?
He didn't, did he? Health and safety wasn't as big in those days.
In the 70s,
He wouldn't be able to do it now.
No.
But, I mean, he had Oompa Loompas. Were they immigrants? Were they here illegally?
Did they have work permits?
That's what I mean.
Do you know what I mean? You try and buy a Brazilian striker
you
and you get knocked back.
I'm not
you know what I mean?
You're trying to get an Argentinian midfield player who's highly rated. He can't get in the country, but Oompa Loompas bouncing in. Hey, they look like they've just walked out of somewhere in town anyway, a sunbed place, you know.
Trump.
Just gone full Donald Trump. They're all orange, bouncing around, you know, living the dream. Or Essex or something, and the next minute they're in a factory in Birmingham. I mean, I would have loved the Oompa Loompas because they would have made me look like I'm 6'4".
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you think, you know, the idea as a kid, that place seemed amazing, but when you think about it, it's a house of horrors.
Scary.
It's a house of horrors.
People went in, just a tour. What kind of tours are they? Someone went on a tour, now alright, she shouldn't have probably been nicking stuff, but the next minute she gets sucked up the thing, gone.
That was Gustus Group.
That was Gustus Group.
Group.
He went. He was the one who exploded. Violet exploded. I mean,
to be fair though, I mean, one of them was, they were all licking walls.
They were, but it was made of stuff.
I know, but I don't care what it was made of. You should not be licking someone else's wall. You just shouldn't, should you? You just shouldn't be licking people's walls.
I mean, is that a thing that you live your life by?
No. Imagine someone walked in your house and you went, yeah, that's my new wall. It tastes of orange. That's not an invite for me to walk over to start licking your walls, is it? You know what I'm saying? That's out of order. If you give me permission, if you give me permission to lick your walls, then that's a different thing.
Right. But if you think of Charlie.
Yeah,
his 4 grandparents were involved in some swinging. The 4 of them were in a bed.
How much was that bed of stunk?
Yeah, they never moved.
And then, hang on.
Was the keys in the old thing?
What about Grandpa Joe? Hang on, bedridden for 20 years and lifted a finger for his poor daughter. Yeah, and then the next minute, the whiff of chocolate and everlasting gobstopper. He's out of his bed like nobody's business.
That's up a drain.
What's all that about?
Well, he was there.
I'm not being funny.
But they would have licked the walls because they had nothing.
If I'd been the social, I'd be straight over to that house and I'd be asking questions.
Yeah, Charlie wouldn't have been allowed.
Are you fit to work?
Are you fit to work? There was no universal credit then, was there?
Are you fit to work? Cabbage soup, a loaf of bread, and he's like jumping up like he's Fred Astaire.
Well, he was just showing you people were on the black then, wasn't he? On the sick.
Unbelievable.
My back's gone. Don't come in a chocolate factory next minute.
And when you watch that film, but like I can imagine like young people watching that with. No, I love it. I love that film. I absolutely love that film. It's a classic. It's an absolute classic. Gene Wilder is just unbelievable, unbelievable. But when you watch back with a fresh pair of eyes and you look at like what's when you go on the boat ride. What's all that about? Yeah. It's like there's bits of like murder films in it and like centipedes and like weird people's eyes and then they get off and it's like
there's an elevator that bursts through the ceiling. I mean, what's that all about? Full on Tower of Terror.
He throws boots in the making of one of his things. I think it was the everlasting gobstopper. So one of the children turns into a Violet Beauregard turns into a blueberry.
And then explodes.
These things... No, she didn't get... She gets squeezed.
Squeezed? Yeah.
Did you get to squeeze him?
Yeah, squeezed.
For God's sake.
Oh, my God. It's just... Now I'm traumatized.
Mike TV turns into a little thing.
I mean, Mike TV was abused anyway.
Yeah, he was abused. The first thing he did, he went to shake his hand and he hit him in the stomach with a gun.
So,
if that's not Trump's America, I don't know what it is.
Well, he wouldn't have been allowed in if they'd done that. Shouldn't have been allowed in. But there you go.
There's got to be question marks about the whole thing.
Listen, you think about City Bang Bang.
How
bad was the child catcher?
He was horrifying,
evil,
mate. He was bouncing around. He was a very famous ballet dancer.
Was he?
Yeah, and that was the whole point of it. Was like they needed someone who was like so great because he's very graceful.
Yeah.
But I remember watching that as a kid, and when you lollipop, my mum used to say that to me just to like scare me genuinely. Like,
try and keep you in.
Great parenting. But like the idea, like
that's like when Tom comes in and says, "Fancy a lollipop?" You vibe behind the couch.
Different reason. But you know when you're like you're watching that was the great thing about films like that. When you were a kid, is like there was that little horror element of them. Like Like, you watch that film now, they're both terrifying films.
Scary.
Kids of these days.
I'm going, look at Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, that's different to cartoon.
Cartoon with a mouse, like, saws him in half and everything.
Itchy and scratchy.
Itchy, full on itchy and scratchy, wasn't it? But,
no, you watch...
how did we get onto this?
I don't care, I love stuff like this. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
This should have been like the middle section. Or the
no, people love this kind of thing. That's what podcasts for.
Okay.
No, when you watch back films, but you watch those and you're like, there's a proper little... Like, the people in that film, the king who lives in the castle, and the castles are amazing. They're like what the Disney castles are built on. But the king and the queen, he hated kids. And he hated kids so much that he decided to hide them all in the cellar.
Yeah.
I mean, alarm bells not ringing right there and then.
Again, social services.
Social services.
Weren't a thing.
Obviously, wasn't a thing. They had charge of the social services. It's incredible. But then again, kids' films. The problem with kids' films is there's always been, or any film is there's always that like, as life moves on. So obviously in the 60s and 70s, you could, fragrantly beat children as much as you want and throw them in the cellar. Yeah. And then you get in the 80s films, and obviously this is why I think we've gone back to things like Stranger Things. Is kids could have genuine adventures. Kids could leave the house, and 5 minutes from leaving the house, they're gone. Yeah. There's no mobile phones. There's no one out looking, spotting them or CCTV. They're gone. You're gone. You got on your bike.
There, is there?
You got on your... Well, this is why in all modern films that have like mysteries, in the first few minutes you watch now, there's a way of... Oh, my phone is wet. Oh no, the battery has died. I forgot to charge it.
Or it's blocked.
That's what happens now in all films. So you think about it like though now, the Goonies, you're just like, where are you? I'm just on the beach. Okay, make sure you're all right.
Be home for your tea.
Be home for your tea. Don't be going near any one-eyed willies.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Straight out the bat. But at least then and that's why things like Stranger Things, people love them because there's that air of mystery. Like those kids live in a little tiny town, like. And there's all like monsters from a parallel universe. Well, not quite parallel, but chasing after them. And their mum's just like literally in the next room. It's just like, what's going on? I can hear banging. Oh yeah, it's just a Demogorgon trying to kill me.
Trying to kill me.
Do you know what I mean? Now there'd be a camera in the room watching them. Different times. Different times.
Great times.
Great times. Much better than now. Honestly,
times.
God, much better than now. Where you can't do anything nowadays. I mean, Conor McGregor can't, by the state of some of the videos on Twitter at the moment. I mean, if that's really Conor McGregor, I don't think it is, but...
if it is, fair play to him.
No, no.
No, what I mean, that's do what he wants, can't he?
Do you know what I found out yesterday, by the way?
Go on.
Liar's coming back next week.
Next week?
Yeah.
You mentioned that the other day.
We were talking about any other business with me, one of our great patron shows. It's back next week. And do you know what else is on next? I think it starts in a couple of weeks. I don't think you watched the first season of this. Race Around the World.
No, I didn't watch it.
Brilliant. And know what? Just from what we were saying about there, the first season was they started in London and they had to eventually get to Singapore. Yeah. And all they had...
Not going there this year,
No.
That's right.
Well, it would have been filmed ages ago.
Oh, yeah.
All they had was the money-wise was the price of a cost of an airline ticket. But they had no phones. And, they had no phones.
Couldn't he just fly there and done? Job done? Won't go?
No.
No?
No,
okay.
because they have to have checkpoints in between.
Oh, okay.
You have to get to certain checkpoints.
You can understand the question for someone who's never watched it.
That would be quite simple, wouldn't it?
There he goes. He's bought a ticket, he's flew there and he's won.
But in couples.
No more. They flew there and they've won. Okay. That's it, done.
So
I think, to be honest, I seen a bit of it on Gogglebox where was there like two brothers or something and they were driving to a checkpoint and
I liked them at first.
They were like haggling too much and then they wasted time.
But that's the I liked them at first and do you know what put me off them?
They were Reds.
One of them had Liverpool shirts on, and literally that my whole
the whole demeanour
changed. But fascinating program though, shows you some of the world and little things like they were going into China, and it didn't get to the border crossing by 6 o'clock. It shut, and that was it.
That was the one I saw. Yeah,
just like get there by 6.
And it's like a time thing.
And that's what you just said right there. They were like those two lads were haggling for a taxi price, and they were like no, and then like you said, they went away and come back 2 hours later, and they were like. Had to pay it.
Had to pay it anyway.
They weren't like getting messed about. They had to. It's brilliant. There was a girl on a train. She started flirting with someone, and the fella let them use his phone. She just started flirting with him, going, can I maybe? And then they met some bodybuilding stuntman part-time actor in like one of, you know, Turkestan or something like that, and he drove them like about 300 miles, and then just like, see ya, and he was like, what?
Am I not getting anything for this? Done.
Not even given the price of petrol. Do you know what I mean?
Sounds interesting. Sounds interesting.
Show.
Started watching The Pale Horse last night. Agatha Christie quality. Bit weird. Rufus Sewell's in it.
Rufus, well, he was in The Man in the High Castle. He played an American Nazi in that.
Yeah, well, you can see that he's got.
But he's
that.
a proper thesp.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's
Proper thespian.
Yeah. He was in thingy, wasn't
A Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
He was in A Knight's Tale.
He was, yeah.
He was the bad guy in that.
He was, yeah.
He was. Great film. Great film.
Classic film.
Classic.
Mature, but no, classic film.
Yeah.
But it's good, and it was good. The Pale Horse first one. And
the other thing is, you won't be bothered. It's like the way they just go, oh, it's starting. So Westworld season 3 is starting next month as well.
You still persistent with it?
Well, I mean, persistent, or it's amazing.
Okay, I'm just asking you.
One or the other.
Just asking you.
How many seasons of 24 did you persist with?
I know. Loads.
Well, shut up then.
I was just asking you because I'd seen people saying they liked the first series and the second series was crap.
You looked at the wrong people.
I've just asked you.
You looked at.
You're saying that you liked it and you're ready for series 3. That's great.
I just find the word persist very, you know.
I
just find it. I feel like you still put like it's the Nias of TV shows. Are you still persistent with him? Well, to be honest, I've got to keep watching till May because he's not out of contract.
This is on till May.
This is on
I've
till
got
May.
no choice.
What else I can do? Yeah. I mean, it can just be on in the background, and I don't have to.
Yeah, it's just that it's there.
Anyway, I believe there was a football match on. It's weird, isn't it? Because we should be in like the first thing, but then we're just in good moods because Everton are winning games of football.
We are.
And it's all good.
And everything's calm.
We've
got a world-class manager.
Could you imagine, before we talk about the game, right? So obviously all the players are away on holiday.
Yeah.
We're getting pictures of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Tom, and plays it in like Dubai and Keane's in Miami wearing all terrible clothes. Could you imagine if we got beat at the weekend? What are you doing wearing that suit in New York with those trainees? They don't even go, lads.
You should have all black on and a North Face coat.
What are you doing?
Canada Goose coat, lad.
What are you doing going to fashion shows in New York? You should be training hard. No rest for you. Training hard. That's what you should be doing, lads.
For bloody.
You should be. All of the parking should be invited to watch you train while we shout at you. That's what should be going on.
But we won, so there's none of that, so it's good. I think in general, over the last couple of months, people are calmer. The whole thing's, the noise has calmed down a little bit. Obviously, we had the FA Cup exit, which was ridiculous and horrendous, all in one go. But league-wise, 1 defeat and 11 now. 23 points out of 33 since Marco Silva was sacked. Obviously Duncan Ferguson took over and Carlo's come in and kept it going, and it's all good. It's all good. The calmness around the place, I think, is... I was thinking about this driving in today. It was just like... It's just nice not to go... Because we got to a stage where every week it's this Marco Silva's last... What does he have to do to get the people off his back? And it just becomes depressing then, doesn't it? Even when you win, it was like, nothing's happening here. And now it's nice to just kind of go, don't even consider, he'll get it, it's great. It must be what other teams not far away had them, and what City had when they got Guardiola. Yeah. It's like, got a good manager now, so, let's just...
It's weird that isn't it weird that if you appoint good managers, good things happen. You know what I mean? Like, or like, if you actually employ someone who actually knows what they're doing, then...
I think the problem... I think what you'd have to have is, especially at a club like Everton, is we needed someone who has been there and done it and can calm everything down and know what they're doing. And you look at the Ancelotti thing, and again, it's like when Liverpool got Klopp. I remember laughing when they were first linked with Klopp, thinking, why is he going to go to Liverpool? His stock's high. He was being talked about at Man United, and obviously it's come out if United had to give him a bit of freedom. He'd have been the United manager, and he wasn't happy with that. So, Bayern Munich wanted him, and I remember thinking they won't get him. And they got him because the stars aligned.
Yeah.
Because he was free. And the same has happened with Ancelotti with Everton. You know, Everton, we done a video about Diego Simeone in 2017, just talking about him and could Everton get him, and you know, the Reds loved it, and some Evertonians who were, you know, not happy with their lives didn't like it either. Why are you talking about that? And it's because basically, money tends to get people everywhere when it seems unlikely. But now we've actually got a more decorated, better manager than Diego Simeone. Simeone won't finish his career with what Ancelotti's won already, so and I know I'd rather have, you know, and Atletico Madrid now talking about getting him sacked in the summer because they're just not sure about him anymore. So it just shows you that when the stars align sometimes, you know, you have to make that decision, and I don't think, or rather, I'm not sure Farhad Moshiri's had the credit he deserves, to be fair, with Usmanov on this one in terms of actually going and getting Ancelotti.
Reaching for the stars, as you know, S-Club said.
He did.
It's about, it's like, we've seen this loads with when we're linked with players, and people go, oh, if we get him, why are we wasting our time trying to get him? And I said, well, not being funny, if you don't try and get them, what are you bothering for then? If you don't try and get someone, if you try and get someone and you don't get them, at least you've tried. Same with managers. If you don't have a go, obviously if he'd go to you, well, that's fine, let's test the water. And you're absolutely right with Ancelotti. The time was just perfect. It worked out brilliantly for us, and hopefully for him. You know what I mean? Because I you know, he's come in and he seems to be enjoying everything, and he seems to be enjoying the lifestyle and having his family around him, and he's a football man. So he's not. I think we get this thing of like with football people of like, oh, they're always having to move to there and move to there and move to there. It's something they expect. It's something they put up with. Their wives and their family are always part of that. They're always, you know, it's not a massive sort of turbulent time in their life if they've got to move to a really nice house somewhere. You just get on with it. That
new experience.
It's a new experience. If someone said to us, "Do you want to?" Right, you're gonna have to. You know, you can go around the world for a job every 3 or 4 years, and you think, well, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Because your home will always be there. Or I mean, for Ancelotti, his home's in Canada, so it's not even. You know, I'm sure he's got somewhere in obviously somewhere at home in Italy, but he goes to Vancouver, so it's the passion that drives these people on. They couldn't be football managers if they didn't have an absolute addiction to it.
Yeah.
And if that takes you to the Premier League, if that takes you to the Serie A, Bundesliga, whatever, you know, you have to go where you go, and it's part of the package. But with the great thing about money comes freedom. So if your missus wants to stay in Vancouver or wants to get a flight over to Italy or whatever, it's there, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, football.
Well, she's Canadian, isn't she? And she's a doctor and a lecturer, so
exactly.
I think she's all over the place.
She'll live her own life.
I think the thing, I mean, he's come out, hasn't he, and said he wants to be here longer than his contract. He said, hopefully, you know, we're going to Bramley Moore and I'm the manager, and I'll stay longer than my contract because that's the plan, which I found very, very interesting. That he's talked about Everton, and I think what's actually quite unique about his situation is that his son's the assistant manager. His son-in-law is the technical fella. So already he's got his daughter around him. He's got his son around him. Grandkids are there. His missus is coming and as far as I'm aware, his missus is looking for a house anyway.
Well, that's what
they've got that sorted. So even when she has to go back to, or you know, so I think she does go around the world, not all the time, but lecturing and stuff. He's still got family around him as well, and he's in Finch Farm. Someone said he's in Finch Farm 7:45 in the morning, and he's there till 6 at night, 7 at night. So that what you've just said just is the addiction, isn't it? That Duncan said to us when he come in here, get in at 7:30, 8 o'clock. It's just football. They're in there and they're talking, and so
funny enough, when you actually love doing something,
it doesn't feel like
it's not work, is it?
That's what they say, don't they?
No.
Get a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life, and that's what they have, don't they? And that's, you know, I just think it's excellent for us because of all the experience. We've read the book, we've read, you know, what people have said about him, how he's built, you know, how he's gone in and he has built certain clubs up, and he's gone in and handled people like Perez at Real Madrid, he's worked with them, and you know, and the Bayern Munich infrastructure, which can be very complicated and very bitchy. He worked with that as well. Strong dressing rooms where he's had stars. He's worked also with places like Parma, which was a different kettle of fish, you know, Napoli, which is a different thing. So I think it's enjoyable, and it is, I suppose, when you look at it, you kind of do just go, oh, now we've got Carlo Ancelotti as our manager, and it, you know, other than Howard Kendall, the biggest manager we've probably, well, he's the biggest manager we've ever had, but what I mean is, other than Howard Kendall, really, I mean, Joe Royle was great, but he was here for hardly any time. Players can't really go, show me what you've won.
All you can hope, well, all we can hope for is that we finish the season strongly, and everyone looks at it and goes, well, they're going to, hopefully they'll kick on from that. Where, you know, it feels like last summer where we were like, people talking about Leicester, and they were like, you know, they're ready to kick on, and we were sort of looking and going, well, why aren't they talking about us like that? Because we'd had a good finish of the season as well. But it was, I don't know, it's like maybe people had seen that there'd been a culture change. Because I remember Gary Neville saying towards the end of last season, I think even when we were winning games, and he just said Everton just like are just nearly there. They're a good side, but they're just nearly there. They're nearly a good side. You know, they can beat Man United one week and then they'll go to Fulham the next week like we did, you know, around that time, and then get beat. They're a nearly a good side. It's like he was saying, it's not that they're not a good side. He said they're not daring to be a better side. And I think with Ancelotti, he's putting the things in place to allow that to happen.
The bridge, isn't it?
You know, he's allowing that to happen, where he's saying to players, don't worry about, you know, on the pitch, take risks, and I'll take the flak. And if I take the flak, people can't give me flak, if that makes any sense. You know, if he comes out after the game and we've conceded a goal and he'll go, well, that was on me because I asked for players to start taking risks, fans will go, and then if he says, I'm asking players to take risks, because if they take risks, there's more chance of us scoring goals. And if he says that, fans will go, cool, fine.
All right.
You know, after the Newcastle game's the perfect example. Comes out after the Newcastle game and goes, it's all right. Don't worry about it. I've been through worse.
Yeah, you
and I've learned.
well, and we've done this.
We've done this. And it's sort of been proven in the last two games where we've not played as well as the Newcastle game. But in both games, you know, the Watford game, we're 3-2 up and we're doing all the right things in the final minutes. Saturday, there was no hint of that, really.
No.
Even a 2-1, there was no real hint of it. You felt really comfortable. And we got through the game. And it was, you know, Saturday wasn't a great performance.
No.
I mean, we made a few changes, and there was, even at the beginning, makes changes, and you have that little grumble to yourself, oh, why isn't he playing Mason Holgate? What's he doing that for? That's a bit weird. Like, even because you'd be like, if he's not playing with centre-back, why wouldn't he play with centre midfield? That little bit of a grumble, but then you go, no, it's Carlo Ancelotti.
He knows what he's doing. Well, he hinted the other week that Holgate was going to be rested anyway, I think, when we were going to West Ham, because I think he'd left Yerry Mina out, hadn't he, the game before? Against Brighton. Yerry Mina was sub, and then they brought him on when they brought Murray on near the end, and he said I might leave Holgate
left
out.
Him out at Newcastle as well, didn't he? He went out at Newcastle.
Yeah, but the next minute, you know, Holgate's playing, but then he's out this week. It was a bit of a surprise, but he said he's going to rotate. You know, Michael Keane was in, then Michael Keane was back out, and it's about giving players that, you know, giving players that blow, and I suppose also giving players that opportunity to prove themselves. Yeah. But also looking at the, I mean, I looked at that and was like, oh, why is Holgate out? But then I thought, actually, they've got Benteke, he's massive, so it makes sense to just have two big centre backs to deal with him. And it was what, you know, Keane made an error, a bit of an error for the goal in terms of where he was, and Pickford did as well. But in general, it worked quite well. So it is about trust, isn't it? And once you trust the manager, because and people have got to learn to trust him. Well, not learn to trust him, they've just got to trust him because of what he's done. It calms a lot of the noise down around it, and it calms.
It allows, I'd say what it allows as well. It allows, I don't really like saying this, but it allows fans to tell other fans to shut up. Do you know what I mean? Like, what I mean by that, right? I'll quantify that, right? We all know what social media is like, right? If someone's on social media going, oh, well, yeah, we might have done this, we might have done that, but he should have done this, you can just basically say around going, no, mate, he knows more about us than anyone. Whereas beforehand, it was all a bit like, well, Marco might make it, he mightn't make it. I think he's going to be all right, that kind of thing. Where with him, you're just like, no, mate.
Well, it cut the arguments down. People are always allowed an opinion, of course they are, and people will always look and go, oh, I wouldn't have done that, and I wouldn't have done, and that's fine, because that's healthy, and that's what football is. That's why we all love it, because we all view it very slightly differently, or massively differently, you know. That's your Stavros. You all look at different things, don't you? But with Ancelotti, I think what it does is it calms, or it does cut those arguments right down. So you might go, I really agree with the subs there, and you could go, all right, yeah, but he's done it, and he'll learn from it. It won't be like he hasn't got a clue.
Yeah,
you can't. There's none of that. You can disagree, and we'll all disagree. Did we agree with them putting Tom Davies on the left against Newcastle? No, because we've seen him there, and how it played out, it kind of showed that he can't really play there, and it cost us. But no one was coming in here going, he's clueless. Yeah. Seen the odd people say on Twitter going, world class manager my arse, and this, that, and the other. So there was the odd tweet. And people will throw that because, you know, and people like Mikel Arteta would have won that game, and we know that is. But in general, people just kind of go, I didn't really agree with that sub, but so what? You know, it's like Saturday, people were going, oh, were they the right subs? And you're like, well, absolutely, they were the right subs. I mean, you could look back and go, in hindsight, did he do as well as he could have done? Sidibé, because I've seen people going, the Sidibé sub was wrong, and it was like, well, it wasn't wrong. Zaha was playing down the left, and he's the biggest threat. Walcott went off because he was injured.
But he's also the second choice right midfielder, isn't he?
And
that's the thing, isn't it?
Central.
That's the thing you've got to look at as well, isn't it? You've got to look at it and go, why start messing about with the team when you can bring a player on and just be a replacement? Tom Davies was brought on so we could go 4-5-1 essentially, with Richarlison sort of playing as a second striker but coming off the right, and Tom going into off the left, going. So it worked. It shut down Crystal Palace's. They were, you know, once they got the equaliser and they started pressing us a little bit higher, it closed their midfield down, and it allowed us to gain control of again, which we'd lost at the beginning of the first half, and which it happens, you know. If we 1-0 up at half time, you know, they make a change to be more aggressive. They start pressing us, and because we only had 4 in midfield, and the way Zaha comes off the left, and Benteke was sort of going on our left, it worked, and we had to counter that. And obviously we got the Richarlison goal first, and then Pickford makes a great save to keep it 2-1 after obviously the mistake for the goal. But it worked. That's when he got the chance to do that with Richarlison, and that's where again differences are starting to happen. The players who can make a difference are starting to make a difference, and Richarlison did that. He scored a brilliant goal. He had, you know, he only had one thing in his mind. The goalkeeper's water bottle helped. Yeah,
it made it look better.
And we'll give him something to aim at. So as Neville used to say, didn't he? Don't give anything. Don't give them anything to aim at. And we get 2-1, and then we go from there. But Richarlison recently, it's funny, isn't it? The 2 games we drew, we didn't have Richarlison.
Yeah.
So, and he just gives you that. I think he's just getting now, isn't he? He's getting. I don't know whether it's something to do with Carlo Ancelotti or just a bit more experience, or what, or Duncan putting his arm around him, or what. But you just look at him now and think the sulkiness. Now, whether you call that petulance or whether you just call that sulkiness because he's getting frustrated himself, and that might be because of where he was playing, and now he's playing up front where he wants to play. But that seems to have eroded, and all his confidence and his belief in his own abilities coming out now, and he's a game changer. And I think, for me, he's got. I still think he's got a couple of levels to go up to, but he's starting to become that real talisman for us.
Yeah, definitely. I think, Duncan spoke to him, didn't he, and told him how important he was when he was in charge. And Ancelotti's come in and done this. And I think once he was told that, of like, you're our kingpin, it's kind of like, puff my chest out, because there was the fear, wasn't there, once Silva went, he wouldn't be happy, and this, that, and but I think people had seen Watford when he was sacked at Watford. He come out and he was fuming, wasn't he? But I think he probably realised that he was at Watford and Silva was probably a good enough manager to manage Watford. And here it's a different kettle of fish. And I think once Everton kind of reiterated to him how important he is, and then got Ancelotti in, it's kind of helped them go up a level. And you're right, you look at him now, he's the talisman for us, he's the game changer, he's the one you look and go, we've got him, and while we've got him, we can score at any time, because he's a proper, looks like a Brazilian striker, you know, and I agree with you that his ceiling's massive. I think he's definitely got a couple of levels to go up, and it's great for us, he's getting better and better. And his performances get better and better for us, then ultimately people will come knocking, like Real Madrid and Barcelona, but it'll be for a big wedge. You know, you'll have to bring your piggy bank with you big time to get him, but we're going to have him for a while, and he's a fantastic player. And I think one of the things you mentioned there about Ancelotti, and we're seeing little things changing now with systems and everything. Bernard's a perfect example of that. Lad got 1 goal last season, 1 league goal down at West Ham. He's up to 3 now for the season. This one is best. You know, scored the winner against Watford early doors. He scored against West Ham at home, and then this one. And this one was a brilliant goal. Great cross from Theo Walcott, but what a finish, you know.
Brilliant. Inside
of your foot, back of the net volley. But what was really interesting was his starting position for this was he was in the D on the edge of the penalty area, not over to the corner of the box, and that is what we've seen, haven't we, since Ancelotti coming inside.
I think there's been like less asked of the fullbacks to get forward, and more asked of the actual wingers to be in the box. I mean, of course, the fullbacks will still go forward, but I think with not having the mobility in centre midfield, the managers very much put the emphasis on the attacking players to score the goals for us and create the goals for us. It's funny because it's something that we've not been used to in the last 10 years, really. We've been used to like those wide players being tucked in a little bit more and allowing the fullbacks to go round them. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that helps with there being a little bit more space and allowing people like Bernard to get into that space rather than it being him and Luca Dean. So that's I mean, but it was a great finish, absolutely fantastic. It makes it look so easy, but it's not, because it only has to have a little bit of lean there, and that's flying over the bar. And we see that quite often. So technically a great goal, and something we want to see more and more out of him, because he is a really good player, technically a really good player. And when you look at his stature, you think he shouldn't really do it in the Premier League. And I know question marks were asked last week of him why he wasn't playing, but you know, when we're playing away from home, it's maybe not always the best solution. And if you have got someone like a Iwobi who has got that strength and can keep the ball, you're looking for that first, and maybe Bernard to come on late. And again, it's a squad thing, and you've got to understand. And I think that's something that obviously Carlo Ancelotti understands perfectly well. I
think that it's twofold though, because one was that's what he was used to as Shakhtar under Fonseca, coming in off the left and finding those spaces. And I think by getting into those areas, he's a player that can definitely add 6 or 7 goals.
Oh, and that's exactly what we need.
And that's what we need for him. 1 goal isn't good enough for him, because he's got the ability to at least get half a dozen, and he's on 3 now and make them runs.
Any good team, anyone who's going to be trying to get into Europe, certainly the Champions League, you need him to get 8. You need to get whoever's on the right getting 8. You need the centre midfielders to get 10 to 12 between them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And obviously strike partnership to get
and your centre back
double each. So it's, you know, we do need to see obviously more goals.
But we've seen 6 in the last 2. We haven't really played that well. You know, 8 in the last 3 games, haven't we? With the Newcastle game. You know, we did play well against Newcastle. That's the frustrating.
That's the thing. It's more. We said this when we were playing 3 in centre midfield. And we were like, wow, we've got 3 in centre midfield, but none of them break into the box. No. So immediately you were taking away, you'd cut down your attacking options.
I've always said that about 2 strikers. Centre forwards cost a lot of money because they're specialist. They win your game.
Maybe that's why we only play one up front then, because we just couldn't afford any more.
But what I mean is, they're specialists. They score you the goals. So why would you cut down by taking one off the team? You've got 2 in there, and 2 wide players. And 2 full-backs that bomb on. You should have enough protection with 4 players still. Especially Everton. You should be able to do it with 3. The best teams have 2 centre-backs and a whole midfielder.
The key to it is to have a mobile centre midfield, isn't it? We haven't got a mobile centre. So why would you cut your options down by doing that? It's stupid. So would clearly benefit. But I just wanted to go back to Richarlison. We've both watched the documentary on the Brazil documentary, All or Nothing, which is on Amazon Prime, and it's amazing to see how much of an impact he has on. Obviously, he's on the poster for it, but he's in like every episode and like different variations of him. Like, you know, the second one, he's winding up Edison to the point where Edison looks like he's going to kill him. You know, the first one where they're all calling him the Joker, and you know, Neymar and everyone is having a laugh with them and playing drums.
Love them, don't they?
And then the last one, but without sort of spoiling it, even though you sort of know the ending, but just putting so much emphasis on how important he was in that final game for Brazil, because he obviously they show when he had mumps, and when he has mumps, that's mad. They get like a picture of him and put on his chair, because they bring him into, they Skype him into a meeting,
because the mission,
and he's got mumps. And when he comes on in the final, he's like, I want the penalty. He's like, the 2 penalty takers have all been taken off, and then it was Dani Alves, wasn't he? He was next, and he's just like, go ahead then. Alves was like, yeah, go on, you can have it, because I don't want to miss.
Yeah.
And he scored, but Dani Alves is just like, yeah, go on, you can be the hero.
Knock yourself out or something. He said,
no, go on sport. He says,
yeah, that was
but
it.
it's like he's got the confidence, and you'd seen him previously, like loads of penalty practice.
Yeah. Tite was like going on about, I don't know.
But he was like, but when he wasn't the fact that he took the penalty, they'd gone down to 10 men, hadn't they? Because Gabriel Jesus got himself sent off like an idiot. Yeah. But it was like the way he was turning on, like going, he came on, he started getting hold of the ball and bullying people and winning fouls and getting in faces. And then when we got the penalty, he wanted it, no problem, no doubt about it, he wanted it, and it was almost like, and he deserved to take it, and he deserved to get that glory of scoring like
leadership,
the third goal. And I just, when I watched that, there was just a horrible, not a horrible feeling, but just that feeling of going, you can be whatever you want.
Yeah, you've got a superstar.
And I was thinking, yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, you've got, know what it is though? It was like, you've got a superstar attitude.
Yeah.
In terms of, you will. I've read something today or yesterday saying that he kept on going for trials at teams, and he got to the last trial, and he said he didn't even have bus fare to get home.
No.
And it was like, and the team took him on. And when you watch stuff like that, and then I've seen some before, obviously, about players going on holiday. He's gone back to Brazil, and he's took a load of Everton gear to the Brazil supporters club over there, and just think that's a mentality.
That kind of mentality wins you stuff, though. You know, because of the way you're at. Yerry Mina, we've seen him. He's opened a school, or they've bought 30 computers for a school. Him and his dad for the because he was saying education is so important. And they're humble, the South American players, and we've seen it for years, haven't we? Luis Suarez, whether you like to hate him, that determination to win games, you know, and to fight and everything. And it's we've got one of the best ones. And Bernard's like that. Bernard's a little terrier, the size of him, 5'4". He's everywhere.
I don't know where he is. He might go to Anglesey.
He loves that. He loves Saltstack.
He
loves Saltstack. So maybe he's gone there. But no, you know, Richarlison's fantastic, and it's great that, you know, he's done a post, an Instagram post with his Everton kit on and a heart, and people are like,
well, Moise Keane's wearing his Everton kit.
We're not even playing, and you're still thinking about us. You know,
I love that.
It's
and
great.
Do you know what? Whatever happens to him in his career, we'll have been a big part in it, and I hope he's at Everton for a long time. Just enjoy him. Just enjoy him. Do you know what I mean? Just enjoy him.
To be honest,
hopefully good things happen with him.
Yeah, because I think, to be honest, we're in a situation, especially with this manager, because of just who he is. And listen, I don't know what'll happen with Carlo Ancelotti. I don't know if Everton will be successful or they won't. I'm going to say they will, because I think when managers start talking about winning titles like he is, he's not, which he said again today. He said, you know, I expect us to be winning titles here. And when they say titles, they mean any cup, the trophies, don't they? But I remember a fella saying someone will win a title within 4 years, and it's year 4 and they're about to win it.
You've got to believe. The thing about it though is you've got to believe, and
you've got to get other people to believe it. That's the biggest thing. You've got to get other people, because clubs bring managers in, and then they go, "What do you want to do?" And they go, "What do you mean? What do you want to do?" It's like the club's got to be fair to Mashiri, he's always had this thing about wanting to win things. And he brings the Russian fella in,
I mean, they've put the money where the mouths are. They've put the money there, you know. Hopefully later on this year we've got the news we want to hear about the stadium, and you look at it, then you go, well, everything's sort of in place then, yeah. Not without sort of sitting there going, we're definitely going to win stuff because we're this and we're that. You think, well,
at least we've got a chance.
If he can bring the players in and get within the pack. Football's always changing. Look at Leicester this year. Look at Sheffield United at the moment. Football is that idea of like there being established 6 teams. It's always going to be in flux. You know, who'd have thought Man City would be where they are this season? I know they've had injuries, but they've got the money to negate those injuries.
Sure
so
they don't have them,
you know, who'd have thought Liverpool would have a better season than they had than last season by the way it's going. Football is so this idea of sitting here going, well, it can't happen. That
makes me. I laugh when people say that we're 10 years behind, and it just makes me laugh because it's clueless. That kind of thing is clueless. You might be 10 years behind in terms of merchandising and things like that, but that can change rapidly as well. Nothing stays the same. Nothing in anything. So the fact is, sometimes you've got to have the armour, you know, to be able to do it, and we've got that in terms of money. Everything's in place, and we've got a top class manager. And if he makes, you just said it there, if you get a manager come into a football club and their attitude is, we'll try and get 7th in the league, well, what does that say to players? It says, you know, we're trying to be the best of the rest. Well, top players don't stay to be the best in the rest. Top players want to win stuff or want to be in the Champions League, want to do this, that. You get a manager all of a sudden who goes, I want to win the league. My aim is to win the league, and you're going to help me do it, and we're going to get players to help us do it. They all start believing, and then the fans start going, we actually want to win things, not what do we really want. I remember saying to you, I don't know when it was, maybe it was early last year or April time, I remember saying, I think Monsieur, I'm saying it was about October, September, and I remember saying to you, Monsieur needs to come out and tell us what his ideas are, because there's a communication's gone quiet. And what is Everton's idea? Is it just to try and be the best of the rest, or is it to actually genuinely want to progress and get into the Champions League? And to be fair to him, he has come out since, and Ancelotti says it all. The desire is there to win. He said to us in Switzerland, we have to start winning. We have to start.
But then
winning.
that part of that, it mightn't have been his fault as such, but part of that was on him for the managers he was going after. Yeah. You know, and listen, this might be the first big profile manager who would say yes.
He did want Simeone.
No, I know. I'm not saying he didn't.
Before Silva.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying he for me, I think he's made some really poor choices. And learn from those poor choices as well. But learn from like bringing in some like Allardyce as well, where yes, he done the job, but thinking, well, if I'd brought in a good manager, I would have still won games, because that's what good managers do. They win your games of football, regardless. They get you where you are. So he's learned as well. I think he's learned and he's learning along the way.
Oh, definitely.
And we'll see what happens. We're not sitting here kidding ourselves. We're enjoying it.
We're a work in progress, and we've got a top class manager. So that's the way to look at it. And
players seem to be enjoying it, and players now are realising that it's not a case of looking at it and thinking, oh God, it's, you know, this is a big club, but I could be doing so much better somewhere else. It's like, no, this Carlo, I want to work for Carlo Ancelotti, so I'm willing to put the graft in, and if, you know, sometimes I'm on the bench,
good managers improve players. What we always say about the other fella across the park is that he took players who people were unsure of, and the world class now, you know. So
exactly,
because
he's seen something. He's very good at seeing something in players and going, I can harness that. So and he obviously fills them with a lot of confidence as well.
Of course, but you look at someone like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, just Duncan Ferguson and Ancelotti being there. He scored 9 goals in 18 months for Marco Silva. He's got 8 and 11 since Silva went out the door.
Maybe he just didn't like Marco Silva.
Maybe. But
maybe we'll lend him his leather cap.
Maybe he tried to give him fashion advice and it just wasn't happening. But it just shows you, doesn't it? Players can improve. Richarlison's gone up another level, like we've said. So if he can do that, we'll know more about this as we go forward. It's still relatively early, but it's great. It's great, and it was great to see Dom score again, wasn't it?
I love to see Dom score. I love to see him score every week. I love to see an Everton number 9 score goals. And I'm delighted that he's saying now, I'm disappointed when I don't score. No matter what the score is, he should be disappointed every single week. He should have walked off that pitch going, I should have scored today.
Well, you take that because it becomes... My job is to score goals. Once you look at it like that, your job isn't to just go out and run around. That's your minimum requirement. He's Everton centre forward number 9. His job's to score goals, and now he's acknowledged it. And you're right. He's looking and going, if I don't score, I'm a bit disappointed. Any striker does that when you're playing. Now you should play big win 5-0. I'd be fuming if I never scored.
The thing about it is that he should be looking at going, if I don't score, we might win this game. So therefore, I must score. So it's on me.
Isn't it good though? Because I get the feeling now that, when you look at other teams and you see goal, I get the feeling now when people see Everton have scored, they think it'll be the Charleston or Calvert-Lewin. Do you know what I mean? And I think for years it was wrong. Everton score, you'd know it was wrong. Yeah, I do, but Liverpool score, you go to Mane or Firmino.
Tell you one thing as well. Neither of them scored a penalty this season.
We haven't had, but the only two.
No, I know. So you look at the players who are above him in the goal scoring charts, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, by the way, is a fantastic penalty taker.
Isn't he 4th top scorer now in the Premier League? 4th or 5th.
Like but he's a fantastic penalty taker.
Yeah, seen for England. One step.
Yeah, he's brilliant. And
do you think? I mean, we can debate this because we're the only team in the Premier League without a penalty, but which means we haven't been fouled in the box, even with VAR.
No, we haven't been fouled once in the box.
And no one's handballed.
And there's been no handballs either. Not one.
Who do you think could take the pen?
Dom, I think, or Richarlison.
Do you?
Yeah, Dom or Richarlison would take them. I'd like
not Luca Dean.
Luca Dean hasn't took a penalty for us once, has he?
No, but I'm just asking.
No, did he take one? Oh no, he didn't play. He wasn't playing the penalty.
No, he didn't play. I wouldn't let Gylfi take one.
Gylfi should never take another penalty again in his life.
He's had far too many chances.
But we have had one pen this season. It was at Lincoln.
Yeah.
And he took it.
And he put a top in.
It was a decent pen. But no, I remember when Lukaku started taking them, and he was like, "Well, I can get more goals," and that's the way they should think as well. 3 or 4 pens.
Duncan said to us, didn't he, when he was in here? If he'd have took pens, he decided too late on in his career, but if he'd have took them, because he didn't have the confidence early on, he could have added an extra 20 or 30 goals to his thing. Couldn't he? Well, he could have, couldn't he? Over the year, he played for us for long enough. So if he had took the pens, we could have added it. So it'd be interesting that to see, because remember the Charleston's pen against Southampton? Yeah. In the cup, which was shocking.
But then he scored one in the Copa America.
No, but I'm just saying it's stupid.
Yeah, scored one for us since then, hasn't he, in the penalty shootout? Hasn't he? I'm sure he's took one since.
Can't remember. But it'd be it'd be interesting to see who took it. Be good to see. You want your strikers taking pens, don't you?
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. I mean, we'd have to get one first, obviously, and then we can argue about it. Two at Arsenal would be nice.
If you can get someone to handball it somewhere, or
well, just when we get fouled, to just actually go, no, we'll have to give them that because it's a blatant pen. But good win.
Good win. Good week. Chill out this weekend.
Great, isn't it?
And be back for the Arsenal game refreshed. And yes, and we'll be back next week refreshed for the podcast. So make sure you check that out. We do lots of videos over on YouTube, on Patreon. Make sure you check that out. Patreon.com/Toffee TV EFC. This podcast goes out as a video on there. So if you want to check that out, do that. It's good. It's worth it. Make sure to check out all our other videos as well. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. See you then.
See you later.